Hey there, Ken here. Just a quick update on everything. I have everything turned off at the minute to avoid the noise. Pond seal, grand, working as well. There's still, it just goes to show. You can't see down there, but if you could, um, there is still a little bit of see the reflection of the phone. You get debris under a drum. Drums are not 100%. There's always, I think the drum, if I recall correctly, on the DVS is a 70 micron, maybe even more. It could be over 100. I can't be sure, but it is certainly higher than the likes of the Draco drum. And it's all a balance between flow rate and that. So you will get very fine sediments down past the drum, but it's nothing like I had when I had the hole in the seal, so that seems to be a success. I'm glad to say. Just did my pond, my bottom drain vac. I have made a decision. I've had a fair few discussions with people around my nitrite problems, and the drum is up and running now. It'll be 2 years in February, or 3 years in February. I mean, the media should be mature. For some reason, that media, which is a copy of K3 media that Evolution Aqua don't do anymore, so it's quite big, takes a fair amount of air to move it, but I'm just not getting it to mature. People are telling me with the fish I have at 150 litres of plastic media, I shouldn't have nitrite at this stage. So what I'm going to do, I've decided I'm going to swap it out for Helix, the Iwasi Helix media. I found it's not easy to get. Well, it's easy to get if I want to really pay for it. It seems to be only available in 25 litre bags, which makes it expensive. And in the UK, and then most of the places won't ship to the UK, so I'll have to do it through Addresspal. But anyway, as I've said before, I'd end up paying double VAT for it, and it makes it very expensive. I found a place in Germany that will ship it to Ireland, so I'll do that, and I only pay VAT once. So that's what I'm going to do. And what I'll do is I'll soak it in potassium permanganate for about 24 hours. And then I will stick it in, and you probably say, oh, well, it's going to kick off your cycle again, and it probably will. But what I'll do is I'll just have it in over the winter, so it will get some sort of start, and then hopefully I won't have too many problems when I kick in feeding in the spring again. Remember, I still have the trickle tower, which is, I've definitely seen an improvement. I can put in more food than I've been able to do before I put this in. But I just noticed, really in the days when the fish are very hungry and I'm looking to feed over 200 grams in a day, I start having problems and I need to back off. So I want to, it's really the only other logical solution to me having nitrite is that plastic media. And you can even see it, you would expect it to be browner now. I reduced it, must be 4 or 6 weeks ago. I reduced it, took about 50 litres out of it. It hasn't made any difference either way, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is, as I say, replace it. So that's one thing I'll do, and I'll talk to you in the next few weeks as I do that. I've also got I'm going to turn this back on now. We go outside. I kicked in my winter schedule, so I've reduced the trickle in down to 20.2 litres a minute from 0.4. The feeding, the pond temperature, it's really plummeted this week. I mean, I think last weekend it was touching 17, and now it's down to 12.7. We've had some very cold, nice enough during the day. It's it's only 11 now, but with the sun it feels a bit warmer. But it's been nice enough during the day, but the nights have been getting down to the low single digits. We've been not far off frost. My back is killing me, by the way, all week, and I'm not too sure whether it's putting that seal in or pushing a car a couple of weeks ago. Long story, probably a combination of both. You can see there I've just put the covers on as well, so turn the back pond off as I do, no waterfall for the winter because it would cool down the water so much. I leave the lilies in the back just in about a foot of water. I didn't cut them back yet, I just cut them back down to very short stalks. I've also got a treatment of blanket weed. I've just noticed a bit in the back and in the front when I was doing a vac. There's a few strands of blanket weed, so I put in a half treatment of clover blanket answer. I find that does the job. So it's going to be cloudy for a while, but the fishies are good. I did feed them yesterday and they weren't that interested, to be honest. They did eat it, but very slowly. I might try them a little bit later on. But that's about it. I had to give the covers a good clean. To be honest, the covers, they get more of a battering during the summer. Behind the garage than they do when they're on the pond for the winter. They're just filthy, and I did put a tarp over them and the tarp blew off in the winds and I didn't notice it, so I was hoping the tarp would save them, but it didn't. They were filthy, but I just, it's not a big deal. Well, with my back it is a bit of a big deal because my wife and my son had to haul them around and put them on, so took them out yesterday and gave them a quick wash. Birds still managed to poo on it. And just got the leaves and crap off them and then stuck them on there today. I make it sound easy, but it wasn't. Gave the pond the back, did the bottom dry and flush, so that's kind of it. It's I will feed until, as I say, they're kind of looking for it. I'm down to 1 feed a day. I've sort of 50-50 mix of the growth, which the growth, as far as I know from the label, can go down to 10 degrees as well, and I need to get more wheat germ, but as long as the water stays above 10, which it should do for the next month or so anyway, I'll continue to give them a small bit of food, and that's about it. So I've just my 2 pumps running. Obviously the waterfall doesn't run. I have the valve closed, and I'm able to run the pond on, you probably can't see it there, 132 on the main pond return, and that's watts, and 20 watts on the trickle tower. So that gives me, I'm able to turn the pond over nicely with 150 watts, which is great. What I will do is I turn the UV off as well. I probably turn it on for another couple of weeks, but I generally just take it out of the ponds for the winter. It's stuck in that corner. It is a bit of a strain on the back, so I leave it till things recover. But I just turn it off. What's the point? It's another 40 watts, and had it off all last year, not a problem. Water was crystal clear. The polycarbonate is UV resistant on the covers, so the algae tends to die back a bit, and there's no green water issues. Can always stick it back in if I run into a problem, but certainly last year I didn't. So that's it. Any comments or questions? Any even with the gels, and I know these filter bacteria is not mad on them. I know some people swear by them. I've never had much use. They certainly did nothing for me with my nitrite problems. Will I use them in the spring to start a new media? Might be worth a try. It's only a few pounds or a few euro. See, does it help? But as I say, the earlier I get it in, I think now there's always a small bit of ammonia, with the fish over the winter, and it might give it enough of a kickstart and get some sort of a bacterial bloom in there. But I'll talk you through that as I do it in the next 2 or 3 weeks. As soon as I start feeding, I'll change the media, and I'll probably stick on one of our local forums here for Irish koi keepers. If anyone wants to give that media a try, they're welcome to it. As I say, I don't think it's worked for me. Now maybe I can put the Helix in and have the same problem, but I find with the Helix, doing a bit of research, and I'm not exactly sure what the measurement is, but the surface area for the K3 is 500. Someone at the door. And the surface area for the Helix is 800. So it's nearly, in fact, it's more than 50% better. So it gives me more capacity. You might be saying, well, why aren't you going for K3? The reason being that these drums aren't designed. DVS will build the drum for K1, rather not K3, K1. I think the grooves that you can see them there, you can see them on that side, they're too wide, and the media gets through them, I believe. So that's why I think Helix is that bit bigger from what I know, and it won't fit through the grooves. So that's you know, K1 would be great because it's far easier to get. I could get it up in Belfast. The Helix, not so easy. I'll leave it at that. Any comments, let me know, and I'll be back to you probably in a couple of weeks when I'm changing the media. Cheers.